Hey, this is JM. Today's vid is going to be about things the left has going to have to change. Well, yeah, they're going to have to basically get their shit together. I know Trump's been on the news and like every day for something new, and his approval ratings are going down, and he's caused a lot of stir during his campaign and after he got elected and all this stuff. But that aside, this should be a sign for the left to really get their shit together. And the reason I say that is if you even look back at how Trump got elected, I'm not saying that there's no credit for him getting elected, that he wasn't clever and he had a strategy that worked to a degree. Yes, he had all those things, but I look at it as Clinton lost more than Trump won, and the reason I say that is because a lot of people on the left, first of all, if you look at most Western countries, just the Western countries, let alone the rest of the world, most vast majority of the demographic, when you look at top heated views, whether it be abortion, gay rights, women's rights, views on religion and stuff like that, they tend to be what you call on today's left. Um, so there were a lot of people who didn't like Clinton, because Bernie Sanders didn't get in. And that's the other thing. Like some of these Bernie Sanders supporters who hated Clinton, who voted for Trump. I mean, if you look at some of Bernie's views, they were socialist in some ways. So it's like you technically had some liberal socialist who voted for Trump out of spite of Hillary. Just the people on the left need to think about that. So, and then on top of that, you had people that wanted Sanders in, hated Clinton, and didn't like Trump, so they didn't vote. So you had a low voting turnout, and the deciding liberals that could have gotten Clinton in office voted for Trump. So I don't look at it as the views that are considered right wing are growing so massively. I just look at it as that the left really is in shambles at the moment. They've been kind of weakened by corruption and elites. And so, I forgot, lost my train of thought. Yeah, so that's how Trump got in. And so whether he does 4 years or 8 years, it doesn't make a difference. The left needs to really, there's two things that Trump talked about that helped get him into office that the left refused to acknowledge or really, and since at least investigate the I would say these two issues. One is immigration, and two is religion. Particularly, we're talking about Islam when I'm saying religion. Now, the main reason I made this video, or I'm about to talk about these things, is that for some of you who used to watch my old vids, or maybe watched the last vid I made, if you don't know, like most Americans, especially most Black Americans, I grew up in the Christian church. I became atheist. I left the church. My parents know, my family knows now, and I'm also gay. So, I'm quite liberal on most issues. Like I don't care what necessarily people do. The only conservative thing about me is money. I'm pretty fiscally conservative. I'm pretty serious when it comes to my own money. Financial discipline is a big deal for me. So again, all these things, and on top of that, I listen to a lot of videos when it comes to atheism. People live in the Christian church, and also people live in the Islamic church. I mean, I mainly talk when I think of atheism. I mean, technically, atheism is you don't believe in any of the deities, even outside the Abrahamic religions. But in reality, I'm mainly talking about the Abrahamic religions. So I listen to a lot of people leaving the Christian church or different Christian denominations, and I also listen to a lot of people leaving the Islamic church. So I've become more and more aware how dangerous it is to speak out against the Islamic religion, whether you want to reform it or you just want to leave it, and especially if you come out as atheist and you just don't believe in God anymore. It is an extremely serious issue. It is very, very dangerous for people in Islam to leave the religion. And the one main thing they complain about is not so much the right. I mean, it's to a degree they already know that there's some people on the right that's not going to like them because of the way they look and their background. They already know that. So that's not so much what's shocking to them. What's shocking to them is that you have the left who's supposed to be supporting these people, and they're being attacked because they're attacking Islam because they left the religion and they know the horrors that happens when you try to leave, or the bad parts about Islam that happens a lot to people. So that is the problem the left is having. You're having more and more and more, people who see the pitfalls of the current left, and some of them are saying, "Well, screw it, we'll just go to the right," or they may not go to the right, but they're starting to put the left on blast for there's some, I would say, hypocrisy. I mean, it's good that you've questioned the Christian church and all this stuff, and granted, to a degree, yes, it's mainly Christianity that's had the stronghold in the West. So yes, it's naturally throughout the years that you're going to put a lot of light on the Christian church. However, now you're going to have to talk about Christianity's cousin, Islam, and the horrors that's happening for the people that are trying to leave the religion. You need to stand up for these people. If you're on the left, you have no choice. And also, I guess with the whole immigration thing, look, me personally, I've been abroad. I've been to countries, predominantly in Asia, Middle East and other parts of Asia, where they're pretty strict about, immigration. I've been to Saudi Arabia. I've been to United Arab Emirates. I've been to Japan. I've been to Australia. I've been to the UK. I mean, that's a whole different story. But but I've been to places where they're pretty fucking strict about immigration. And so I'm not against countries having an immigration policy. I'm not against countries enforcing their immigration policy. And the left is going to have to make immigration policy not a taboo. Just to talk about immigration policy, you shouldn't make it a taboo or say it's racist. Every country has it. That's just the way it is. And if you want to talk about racism, I mean, some of the strictest immigration policies you will see are in non-white countries. I mean, they have some very strict immigration policies. I mean, we just have to be honest with that. But me personally, I'm not one of those people to like berate and like have a bit, make it a big deal if I see illegals. I mean, even in Wichita, Kansas, where I live. I know plenty of people who are illegal. But I'm not against, politicians saying we need a strong immigration policy. That doesn't freak me out like a lot of people on the left. But what I don't like, what happened with now that Trump is in, and I don't necessarily blame him, but it is and there have been incidences where you see that people are taking this immigration policy in their own hands, and they're actually going after people who are here illegally, attacking them. So that's what I don't like about this whole immigration issue. But again, besides that, the left is going to have to talk about these two things. That's all I have to say. If you have any comments, leave them. If not, peace.